Hey, Freedom Corner.
Hey, this is Dominic Box from Savannah, Georgia.
Dominic Box from Savannah, Georgia. How we doing tonight, guys? I heard we've got some special guests out there.
We do. I encourage anyone that has a question for Dominic, I would come up and ask him. He has his very own set of views, but very well spoken. So, do we have a question?
I've got to ask, I was told, is Congressman Santos out there?
No, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay, cool, no worries.
I know, but I have to tell you, so my daughters are coming in for their dad's resentencing on Friday.
Yeah.
And so they love Santos. And so
I wanted to give him, I had to give him a shout out. I love the way he handled his tenure.
Okay, yeah, so I called the girls and I said, well, Santos just posted out that he was going to be at Freedom Corner tomorrow. And my oldest daughter, Sarah, is like, oh my goodness, I have to wear something warm and iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah.
I love it. His interviews were great.
So, we'll see. He has been out on the corner before. And, so he I believe he may show up out here. We'll see how all that works out. So, something, cool. I'll ask you something that these reporters have been asking out here, Dom.
Sure.
Okay, so how do you feel about the Hunter Biden pardon, and how do you feel like it affects you?
So, let me say this. I think it is completely understandable for a father to love his son and not want him to experience the pain, terror, and horrors of incarceration, like myself and all the men that I've come to call my family have over the last almost 4 years. What I also understand is that the Democrats have finally shown themselves to be who they are. Joe Biden in particular. He said for over 2 years, while this was all going on, that he was not going to pardon Joe Biden, he was not going to pardon Hunter Biden, he would not pardon his son, Karine Jean-Pierre, his ridiculous press secretary, seemed agitated anytime somebody asked. But we all knew deep down that eventually he was going to pardon the first the first son. Right. The issue that I have with the pardon is not that he lied, it's not that he did it, it's the way that he went about issuing an 11-year broad pardon for every crime that he has committed, that he may have committed, and for the very crimes that President Trump was impeached for asking President Zelensky to investigate in Ukraine. So it was expected, but it's absolutely ridiculous. And I will say on that note, additionally, I saw that Hakeem Jeffries today, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, says that President Biden can cement his legacy by extending pardons to all of the nonviolent prisoners who have been facing overly aggressive prosecution. Well, hello. I'm a nonviolent individual who has been aggressively prosecuted, so am I in line for a pardon? I don't think so. But whether it comes from President Donald J. Trump or President Joe Biden, whoever wants to give me a pardon, I'm ready to get back to Savannah. I'm ready to get out of this goddamn gulag where today they have destroyed the exclusivity of what was once an incredible homogenous J6 unit, and while the floor was still wet and we were still removing clothes out of Jonathan Copeland's cell, they brought an obviously schizophrenic transgender individual into the unit today. So they've taken the J6 unit and filled it with admitted murderers, informants, LGBTQI aliens, and all types of, other individuals that are not J6ers. We actually have another J6 defendant on the unit next door to us, and they refuse to bring him over here. So I'm ready to go home. I heard, Purdy and Turner say that they don't feel like they deserve a pardon. They care about our country. I care about our country, but every one of us deserves a pardon. We deserve it. I expect it, and I'm ready to get it. Whether it comes from Joe Biden or Donald Trump, I'm ready to go home. We have served our country. We did nothing to deserve what they've done to us. They've destroyed our families. They've destroyed our good names. They've ripped us out from our happy little idyllic lives, brought us all the way back to the swamp. For what? For standing up to an obviously stolen and fraudulent election. And I would call into account our friends from Denmark and Europe and everybody out there. Look into the case of Ronald Albert Camacho, who choke-slammed a Capitol police officer outside the DNC while protesting for pro-Palestine purposes, and he was given 48 hours of community service.
That's right. That's right.
And my friend David Dempsey, who did significantly, less than that, if we want to call it similar, we can call it that, was given 20 years. My friend Chris Quaglin, whose son was 8 weeks old when he showed up here in D.C., got 12 years. Matt De Silva, Reed Christensen, Mark Brew, so many good men have had their lives destroyed and thrown into prison thousands of miles away homes for what? For protesting the wrong things. Things that are enshrined in our First Amendment. We have a right to redress our grievances. We have a right to protest. And we have a right, in my case, to act as an officer of the press. What you may be interested in knowing, my friends from Europe, is that I had a legitimate press pass from the Trump campaign. I was working on a story for the Savannah Morning News, and they talked about our due process rights being violated. The court would not let me even discuss that. Why? Because they want to railroad us through this and throw us in prison for doing something that I think every American who had the opportunity to do would have done. If they could have been in D.C. and they cared enough, they would have been there. And to this day, do I regret it? Absolutely not. It was the right thing to do. I am glad that I can count myself among this J6 fraternity and family. And I'll say this. I did not go to Washington, D.C. on January 5th and stay throughout the 6th to become a part of history, but I'm damn glad that I've become a part, because nobody can ever take that away from me. I know what really happened, and eventually, the rest of the world will too.
That's right.
That's right.
Tell him, Dominic.
Okay, so I think you covered my next question, which is, do you think he'll get a pardon from Donald Trump?
I think so. I'll say this: if Hunter Biden, who is on video with underage prostitutes who we know received millions of dollars, bilking his father's name and the classified information that was stored in his Corvette, and it's ridiculous. Do I think I'm going to get one? Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The hilarious irony would be if it came from Joe Biden. So whether it comes from Joe Biden or Donald Trump, I believe 100% that I will get one. Not that it makes me, any different from anybody. But I am, I have no violent charges, and I've now spent 16 months in jail. And by the time we get out, 17, 18 months. It's incredible. It's ridiculous. But every single day, it is an honor to be a part of this family and this fraternity, because despite taking everything from me, despite losing my car, my house, my job, my reputation, you have never broken my spirit, and I will always, as I have from that day until today, tomorrow, and January 20th and beyond, I will always speak the truth about what happened that day. And the main thing is, the election in 2020 was stolen. It was not clean. Absolutely no cops died on January 6th before red-blooded Americans did for doing the same thing I was doing, and I'm just fortunate that I didn't have to give my life for protesting. But it's a damn shame that 4 people, Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boylan, Kevin Gleason, and Benjamin Phillips did. It's a damn shame that they're not here, but I want you guys to report on their names, because nobody, all of that gets lost. They talk about Brian Sicknick and Michael Fanone and all the officers before Americans died doing what is enshrined in their First Amendment.
Amen.
Ability to engage in, and it's a damn shame. It should never happen in this country. It is unfortunate that violence happened that day, but it did not happen in a vacuum, and it absolutely did not have to happen. President Trump requested the National Guard. He requested additional troops. Mayor Bowser and Nancy Pelosi, who were responsible for securing the Capitol, refused to allow the National Guard and additional federal troops to secure the Capitol. If they wanted to protect it, they could have. They chose not to. They wanted exactly what happened to happen, and it's a damn shame that 4 Americans lost their lives.
Amen.
Well, you know what, Dom? You bring up a question that Sky News asked out here that I will re-ask you. Is that because of the crowd being there that day, do you feel like that you caused the deaths that happened?
Oh, absolutely not. No. My job was to document and show what was going on. It's exactly what I did. The people who were responsible for securing the Capitol, again, were Nancy Pelosi and Mayor Muriel Bowser. The police opened the door that I was one of the first people inside. I didn't open the door. I didn't push anybody. I never touched a police officer. I didn't touch a bike rack. I didn't do anything like that. I didn't pass any sign. It's ridiculous. And being in the jail, so many people said, "Oh, if it would have been us, they would have killed us all." Absolutely, that would have happened. If they wanted to secure the Capitol, they could have, they should have. They chose not to because they wanted exactly what happened to happen. And it's a damn shame. I don't blame the Capitol Police. I don't blame the Metropolitan Police Department. I place the blame squarely on the shoulders of Nancy Pelosi and Mayor Muriel Bowser.
All right, I love that answer. But I'm in your fan base.
I also want to say real quick to Sky News, we are a big fan of Sky News Australia here, and particularly Rita Panahi. We love that you guys give Donald Trump a fair shake, so we're big fans of Sky News Australia.
All right. Oh goodness. Apparently it's Trooper's girlfriend too. I have a media boyfriend, Nate Voy, on Fox News.
Yeah.
He's my boyfriend on the news.
Nice. I love it. There's a few media outlets that, and like Tony and Turner said, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to tip my metaphorical hat to you. I appreciate you guys coming out and being willing to talk to us because so much is written about us. And who knows? I have no idea what you're going to say about us. Radical J6ers demand pardons. Who knows what you're going to say? But I do commend you guys for actually coming out and being willing to talk to us and to see that, we're regular people. I'm not a radical extremist. I'm not a domestic terrorist. I'm damn sure not an insurrectionist. I'm a red-blooded American citizen. I'm a press member just like you all, and they've taken me and thrown me in jail thousands of miles away from my home for 16 months, and by the time I get out, 17 to 18 months. For what? Reporting on a story and joining the champ? It's ridiculous. But if it can happen to us, it can happen to you. And, Europe, I really hope you guys get your act together because, we've seen what happened when press freedoms are limited and when people are locked down with the COVID lockdowns. And, let what happens over the next 4 years be a model for what can happen when we have a strong embrace of freedom and an embrace of Western ideals. What's going to happen in the next 4 years are going to be great, and it should be a model for the world.
I absolutely agree with that and love that also. Another question that has been asked out here, Dom, and I feel dumb being the one asking it, but how does it feel having the vigil being held in honor of Jan 6ers and those that lost their lives that day?
Oh, it is so important because without you guys, we wouldn't have a voice, and it would be limited to what people like Joy Reid and Whoopi Goldberg and CNN had to say about it. And instead, and of course, people on the internet and the leftist media outlets, they're going to cut and paste what we say, and we see some of our comments get taken out of context and they're used in sentencing memorandums, but ultimately it lets me know that, because none of you guys that I know are from D.C., you guys have all come here, so you're invested in this just as much as we are. Mickey lost her daughter, and it not only is it an outlet, but it's a constant hug from, the rest of America, because I know you guys are from all across. I know, Nicole, you're from Texas, Sherry's from Ohio, Deb's from, Virginia, and just people from all over. So I know Troopers from, I think, the Dakotas, and it's just incredible. It shows us that we've not been forgotten, and, it's easy for us to get on the phone, because it's a pretty much constant, 60 degrees in here. It's getting a little chilly, but you guys are out there, rain, sleet, snow, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
You have 1 minute remaining.
We've not been forgotten, and it gives us an outlet to not only vent our frustration, but to keep, focus and a memory.
No problem.
On those people who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And again, I just want to close with saying it's an honor to be here every day. Thank you to you guys for coming out here. It's Dominic Box, the first one and only, still in cell number 9, where everything's fine. If you're interested in seeing any of my writings that I've done in jail, Sky News or Denmark, GibsonGo.com/freedomj6, Chatham Free Press on Rumble. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys. God bless America, and I'm glad we've saved the cats and dogs.
Free J6.